I dropped the ball. As soon as lockdown hit, I kind of shut down content creation. I didn't know what to market. I didn't know what to talk about. It didn't feel right. I was kind of in shock. I mean, I assume you felt somewhat of the same way. I couldn't have been the only business owner that just went into survival mode, obviously. Truth be told, the amount of content that you make really has a lot to do with how much traffic comes into your website and how many leads, calls you get, that kind of thing. And I was overwhelmed so emotionally, so I couldn't have handled more business than I had. I had a good, steady stream of business, and I'm really happy with what I had. So I'm not complaining about business. What I'm admitting to you is that, right, I talk a big game. I'm a marketer, like a lot of other people you see on any channel that you're on using social media. And I'm a teacher. I educate on how to use social media. But I always need to be honest when I am not able to keep up with the demands of perfection and the cycles that we say you should have, the things you should do. I was happy with business, but what I didn't do, was create original content for much of this last 2 years. But I also didn't do a really important task, and that is check my performance metrics. I mean, I wasn't creating content, and I chose not to look at my metrics that I would normally do monthly because I didn't want to stress myself out. I didn't want to put unnecessary pressure on myself to perform to the levels that I was used to performing at, because life was different and I had to let it settle. So what I did today, the first week of the new year, I went back to a lot of the things that I do at the beginning of the year. I review my business strategy, I review my website, I review all of my social media channels for updates. I think twice about what tactics I'm using, what my objectives are, what my services are. I mean, everything from, A to Z. I wasn't able to do that last year, but I did it again this year and I felt really refreshed and I had a new glance at it. And one thing that I'm currently doing, I'm not done, is that my normal task of every 30 days, checking my metrics of performance from the last month, is that I'm doing it for the whole year for every channel. And I learned something that really surprised me. Though the traffic on my website went way down, and that's directly related to me not creating content and not promoting a whole lot, I learned a couple things when I looked at my Google Analytics today. And I thought to myself, I also am going to make a video on Google Analytics on how to use it and what to pay attention to. So look for that. But when I was looking at my Google Analytics, what I noticed is that the number one social referrer to my website was YouTube. And I don't make a lot of YouTube videos because I hate editing and I don't like being on video like anybody else, but I don't make as much video on YouTube as I do on other channels because I think of it as long form and it sticks around a really long time and it's helpful and it's beneficial for SEO. And what I noticed over these last year of metrics is that YouTube was the number one traffic driver to my website. And I hadn't created a new video. And I don't make a lot of videos. So what this told me was that even though it was okay for me to take time off, I'm not blaming myself or upset with myself, just being honest, is that it's okay that I took time off, but it also showed that even though I took time off, YouTube was still doing hard work for me. Even though I don't regularly make videos, the videos that I do make are still bringing traffic to my website. So it was nice to see a change. Normally, my number one traffic driver from a social media channel is Facebook because I spend a tremendous amount of time there. Because I took time off, that allowed YouTube to become number one. And I'm kicking myself just a little bit because if I had checked my metrics 6 months ago, then I would have seen this pattern sooner. Would I have been able to do anything about it? No. I wasn't in a position to make any tactical changes to the way I created content, but I'm ready now. So the whole point of me telling you this is that sometimes you're not on the ball. You can't always do the marketing tasks that you wrote down on paper, and that's okay. The next is to reevaluate what you're doing. Third, look at those numbers. What are they telling you? What stories do they tell you? And what kind of behavior are you going to change, stop, or adapt based on what you learn? So check your metrics. See how things are performing and see what's driving traffic to your website. I'm going to put in the caption a link to a templated metric report so you too can track your numbers.